This is Morten from English TV, reporting from Drupa here on the third day. We are in Hall 9, and actually, I would say I'm talking to a guy that probably have a lot of shares in all the communication and understanding of a trade show, because PR companies like Duo Media from Brussels. Good to see you, Ben.
Pleasure to meet you.
I mean, this must be like heaven for you. I mean, there's so many potential customers. There's so much information that needs to be shared. There is so many stories to tell. And that's what you do, right?
Indeed, it might be even overwhelming, but no, the graphic industry and all of its vertical markets very much are Duo Media's home turf. So this is the moment to grab the opportunity to connect. And we have some clients as well on the stand, so it's a double role. On the one hand, I want to meet new people, and I also want to make our customers happy, but plenty to do.
I guess that, I mean, leading up to a show like this, I mean, there's a lot of preparations. How do you help your customers getting the most out of a trade show like this?
We are a completion to their marketing team. It's working with the materials that are available, but certainly also those deadlines. And I believe for many marketeers right now, the heaviest part has been done. It's that build-up, getting those brochures ready, gathering all those materials in copywriting, in visuals, in layout, and getting it printed on time. All of these elements together, it's always a rush, but this is also what we love to do, of course.
And I guess that when it comes to, for example, all the brochures and literature that you make, everybody wants it to be as current as possible, so it's always up to the minute, right?
You have to work with deadlines, and the final version, 0.04. It's part of the business, of course, it's part of the work. But indeed, that is a build-up to, and the better prepared you are, the better you can start in advance. I always like to say that, but once it's the moment to shine, well, it's tight deadlines.
When you are, as you say, you are like the completion of a marketing department. I was thinking that for a second, that sometimes when you are the completion or working closely together with the marketing, at some point you have to make a decision what works the better in a communication perspective. Do you see the role of a PR company like Duo Media, like let's say, because you have experience from many different industries and a lot of experts employed, do you see that you are like, okay, we do this and then that is the direction, or is it very much like a very close collaboration, or how does it work in the reality?
How it works, people do expect a proactive attitude.
Yeah.
An agency that waits until something needs to happen is going to get into trouble.
Yeah.
But that cooperation, we are dependent on the messaging and on the materials and the way that a company wants to present its brand, its service, its solution. And that's when we work closely together, we are at the end of the line to get that marketing message out to the right people. And there, it's in close cooperation to make sure that we do a good job, of course.
Of course, I mean, I guess that is like the final frontier of all of us, is that we do something where we can have recurring customers, basically.
Well,
yeah.
We're at the end of the communication line when we reach out to the audiences, the target audiences, and it's then when people evaluate whether it's a good quality or not. So there's a whole flow behind it where you don't always have the same impact or the same control, but you are responsible for the end product. So that's an interesting dynamic to PR and communication.
Everybody has for many years now been talking about the omni-channel. I guess that as a PR company, and also being that, let's say, communication advisor with your clients, you need to know about internet, you need to know about films, you need to know about print, you need to know about, you need to know about a lot of things in order to be able to give the right advice. How is the balance in, because I mean, if you go to a print show, you would assume a lot of people would like to have print. On the other hand, you also would like to have results. So what is the most important?
I think the most important is, because a lot of businesses are putting the focus on the number of leads. How can we gather leads? How can we bring people to our website, identify them, and move them over to the sales team to follow up? I think in our role, one of the most important aspects is on building on the quality of the leads, making sure they are informed before they go to a show. And like at a show at Drupa, there's a big difference between 100 visitors who come to your stand and look at what is it you actually do, as opposed to having people coming to the stand who ask, "Can you show me this?" And there's a very big difference there on how you're handling the leads and how much effort you have to put into conversion, meaning getting a good deal out of any connection here at Drupa. So I think there, the quality of leads, that's the challenge. And you've mentioned omni-channel. I do believe that people inform themselves through different channels. It's a story that's being said over and over, but that's probably because it's true.
I read on your website maybe a little bit more than a year ago something that I of course have a huge interest in. That was like how you advise people to use pull media versus push media, and I guess that also what you talk about here when people are more and more informed. I think there's a trend right now that a lot of companies start to realize that if you don't have the right, let's say, information on your websites and your channels when people are looking for information, then it is a serious problem for a company when they communicate, because you cannot always throw everything in the throat of the people, right? I guess that is correctly cited from what you wrote, right?
Yes, indeed. And as you've mentioned, like websites for a very long time turned into the online window of the business, but people were starting to give all of that information so that someone could just visit that website, find what they need, leave, and you would be none the wiser. I think an evolution now is to be more careful with making sure that when it comes down to when you would like to connect and talk to someone, they need you rather than just have everything for free. And that's I think is the game now. Talk to us, we're the experts, and make sure that that is clear on your website, on your communication in general.
Last question. You are also a member of VIGC, the Flemish Grafische, whatever it's called.
Innovation.
Innovation, yeah. I always call it VIGC. That's good enough for me. But I guess you're a member there. Is that? I mean, I guess that you also member because it supports the Flemish graphics community, but also an opportunity to do business. How is the weighting from a Duo Media perspective?
To us, that's a double whammy, a win-win. A double whammy. We are involved with their communication because we know the graphic industry very well. And our agency is now 25 years that we are active.
Wow.
But with VIGC, there's that combination between communication and the graphic industry. So we are both a communication partner, but also every time there's an event, it's a very interesting community.
So you are also involved in their planning and execution, because I mean, when I see VIGC, let's say newspapers and magazines and websites and even a booth at different, it is fantastic. So you're involved in that part of it?
I will not take claim of 100%.
Not full credit, but you're part of it.
But we are part. We are a piece in the cog of VIGC. Yes.
Fantastic. Good to see you, and thank you.
Same here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.